Hey everyone, and welcome back to Master Site. Today we got Game 4 of Bison Brawl GT, and we're playing some tough players is what we're doing here. So today we got Empire Dust matchup, and it's Jordan Braun. He is one of the Austin guys out of the Logs group. Um, so that might sound familiar because I played against Jesse Garrett in Lone Wolf for my first round of Lone Wolf. So him and Jesse are from the same group, and um, obviously Jesse was a great player, so I'm expecting the same things out of Jordan here. And he is playing a pretty hard hitting EOD list. So let's go ahead take a look at the list here and we'll jump into the game. So he has two Skeleton Spearman regiments, one with Orb of Towering Presence. He has three Hordes of Enslaved Guardians, one with Liliana's Tear. The Soul Snare, an Undead Worm. He has the Monolith. He has a Pharaoh with Wings of the Honeymaids, knowledgeable for Spellcaster 3. Comes with the Surge and then Host Shadow Beast 3. He then has a Cursed High Priest with Amulet of the Fireheart to cast 2 spells. He has Surge and Wind Blast for those 2 spells. He then has Sevic Ray and 2 Reanimating Behemoths for a total of 13 drops and 20 unit strength. Pretty elite for Empire Dust. Obviously, you're playing it much differently than my my build of Empire Dust. But I know that Jordan has played several other armies with Surge in it, so I expect he's going to be well versed in all the tricks of the trade, as it were. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the game here. So this time around, our Bison is it's just keeps getting stronger, I feel like. So it's a little bit faster this time at speed 8. Hits on 3s, defense 5, standard 14, 16. But the big thing this time, Crush 1, Thunder 2, the Elite, Vicious, same thing. It actually inspires this time. It has Slayer D6, which, great matchup for that. There's tons of things we're getting Slayer on. And then it has Ensnare. And I will say that both Jordan and I completely forgot about Ensnare throughout this game. So that, I don't, it would have came up. But so essentially through our game, we're playing as if or unintentionally, but we're playing without Ensnare. And then it gets Alchemist Curse 4. So not only is this guy going to be a beat stick in melee, but he's got the best shooting in the game. And yeah, it's gonna be great. So our objectives this game are to have our Bison charge the opponent's Bison. This can be a counter charge. And then have your Bison complete a solo charge while it has not been disordered. And there is Jordan, and in fact, Jordan is getting, the good luck from Jesse playing right behind him here. And I think Jesse at this point was playing against Aaron Chapman. Those two were at the top table there. So, yeah, we got our work cut out for us here. Here's our deployment after all the captain shenanigans. As far as terrain goes, I guess first we're playing Plunder. I rolled off to choose sides, and I had to pick the Plunder token first, so I'm staying on this side, and I actually chose this Plunder token over here. Just knowing EOD in general doesn't like splitting forces, so he did pick the one right next to it. which I did expect. But with this particular impassable piece here, I think that it's going to be the best option that I had. It was either this one on the far left or this one on the far right. I think that he actually, with this particular terrain setup, would put up a really good front going just straight down the middle, as if you were playing Dominate. So I definitely didn't want to pick the middle tokens or one of the middle ones because I knew he's going to pick something close to it, having less drops and lower unit strength and everything. So um, yeah, so terrain, the two impassables are on his side here. We have obstacle, obstacle, hill, hill, forest, forest, and then flats on my side. So, yeah, pretty straightforward. Jordan gets the roll off for first turn, and this is kind of partway through his first turn. He's not done moving yet, but he has enslaved guardians, the bison, Guardians with Behemoth. The worms are going to be his behemoths. Spearman, this is his soul snare. He has Sebic Ray, I believe, is this one here. Monolith, Behemoth. Then he has the other Spearman, which I think these are the Orb Spearmen, if it matters. I'm sorry, Sebic was behind those guys, and this is the wind blasting guy. This is the Pharaoh. So, and then he has his Liliana tier unit with the worm behind. On my side of the board, I have again. I'm going to be focusing on the left here, so trying to play a little bit tighter of a formation over here and then just protect the flank of this over here. So I have Giant Knights Giant. I redeployed one of the Peg heroes over here. I have a Spear Phalanx with the General on Wing Beast behind. You can just barely see the Captain here. He's just in range to Very Inspire over here. Militia Mob, Spear Phalanx with the Bison, another hero. Then we have another militia mob, our Horde of Pikes with our other general, Horde of Bows, and our two ballistas. So, in this matchup, obviously having some experience with EOD, I don't have a overwhelming amount of shooting, so I know that any shooting that I do is going to be healed. So it's not going to matter. So I very much did that. Put them over here off to the side consciously, knowing that he has a winged pharaoh. He can come kill those things if he wants. I'm not opposed to it. They're going to do about the same effectiveness. In fact, if he comes and kills them, that's even better. That's 2 turns of him killing a war machine that I don't have to worry about a pharaoh. So this is after Jordan moves. He just nudges up a little bit, runs the spearmen up, and then surges the spearmen. Otherwise, everything else was just repositioning mostly. And he got on the hill with the horde, and his worm is covered behind it, height 6, with the horde on the hill here. So and then he ran his winged guy over here behind the obstacle. Yep. Job is to just ignore him all game as much as possible. Even though he has host shadow beasts and gets the 5 extra attacks, I can't kill him reliably with anything I have. So just ignore him. So my movement, I start moving up a little bit. I keep the knights out of charge range of the bison. So the bison right now can charge either the giants. Nothing else is in charge range, like these enslaved guardians or his behemoths. So it's just a solo charge. He can maybe try for a long surge, but um, yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to finagle and fit those guys, and then I do have counters to do that, so pretty confident in that. Over here, we decide to move up. No point in. I think I was out of range anyway, but no point in the bowman standing still to shoot at units that they're never going to stick wounds against. So we started moving the bowman up. Um, and got the spear phalanx, or not spear phalanx, the pike horde, polearm horde onto the hill, majority on the hill, and far enough so that the general on wing beast was also majority on the hill. Yeah, otherwise just some slight move ups. We have a large distance in between us, so at this point, I'm not really protecting against surges, I would say. Turn two, if he's gonna missile in a unit, it's not as huge of a concern, I guess. It just wasn't even really at the top of my mind. We're very far apart at this point, so not really positioning or pre-measuring to look for those surge angles or anything like that. I'm thinking his Pharaoh is going to do what he's going to do and either come into the bowman or he has one of the ballistas over here in sight. So come take that out and then get behind the lines. I mean, I just can't stop him. So there's really no point in even trying. So this is how it looks at the end of turn one, going into turn two for Justin. I'm sorry, Jordan. I mix up all the names because it's Jesse, Jordan, and Justin. All are the main logs guys. So I'm playing Jordan Braun. That's who I'm playing. So yeah, we'll see what Jordan's got in his store for us here. Um, One thing I do notice is that I typically do is I like to hide the soul snare behind stuff, and when he moved it up turn one, obviously he couldn't shoot anything. Um, but I mean, turn two he's going to be shooting stuff, but right now where it's positioned, I'm looking and it's like, well, he's not very well protected, so is he going to hide it behind the monster guy here, or what is his plan? Because I just know how devastating it is with the soul snare, not only to heal your own units, but do enough damage to put units over the top for killing them. So soul snare is definitely one of my priority targets in this particular matchup, and Jordan has enough surge entities. He has two dedicated individuals, basically the monolith that can't be disordered, and then if he really wants, the Pharaoh can surge as well. So hitting a surge character just isn't going to do enough. That he has two or three other sources after that anyway. So the Soul Snare just went up in priority. So shooting wise, though, I mean, we're pretty happy with it. We did 5 wounds to Skeleton Spearmen. I mean, it's not nothing. He's got to heal it, but it's not nothing. And so on to Jordan's turn two. So he did surprise me here a little bit, and um, he's going for a gamble here, which I don't exactly know why. Personally, I I wanted to kind of talk to him about it, but I just we just didn't get into it. We had to get into our last round um, and whatnot. So he moves up these enslaved guardians to be where this is the base. Gets them off the hill so that the worm can then charge with the pharaoh with wings into the horde, and his line is going to connect with the corner of my unit here, making it to where he would have effectively a triple charge against my unit. But this distance here for him to travel, I think it was 10 inches, which um, he wasn't able to get Sebek Ray, the third caster, over. He has the monolith. He has this particular caster, but he doesn't have Sebek. So he has 16 surge, two surge from the Pharaoh, or not Pharaoh, the High Priest. It has rerolls, so two fails, he gets two rerolls. So all in all, it's effectively as if it's Surge 18 and he needs a 10. So mathematically, 9 inches is average. 10 is slightly above average. It's not out of this realm, but it is a gamble for sure. Um, and I can see why, because the positioning, if he fails it, it's not terrible. It's not like he's going to really leave these guys out to dry, high and dry. Um, it just feels unnecessary to me because I had no charges on him this turn. I mean, my generals can charge, but I'm not charging my generals out there. Maybe my Pegasus, hits something, and then we try to push forward aggressively. But I, I don't think I was posing a huge threat over here to really justify this particular line. Um, I did feel like I was applying a lot more pressure on the left, that trying to back him into a corner, abusing this impassable piece here, which we'll see on my turn. But um, there just wasn't good options for him with surging over here either, because he was looking at like this unit into the flank of this giant. But again, he would have the monolith and probably Sebek, but the other guy was going to be like just out of range, more than likely, unless the monolith completely whiffed. So um, yeah, just some plays that and like I said, Jordan's uh, playing Surge armies quite frequently, and I know he's played a lot of air elementals. So I know this isn't something new to him by any means. Um, I'm just curious as to his thought process, why he felt like he needed to do this particular play at this point in time. Um, so he does decide to charge his Bison solo into the giant here, which isn't too bad. The knights are in the front still, so I can't even double charge because of where I have it positioned so close to the edge. So he is fairly insulated and protected by just the giant being there for a counter charge. So I don't hate that by any means. Um, yeah, so let's take a look here. So after his monolith surged in, he got to there, and then after his caster surged, he got to there, and then he had two rerolls, and he failed both of them. And it's pretty obvious here, but he only needs one more inch. Um, and after the two failed rerolls from his high priest, he actually uses his tournament reroll on another failed dice, and he fails it again. So, you know, lucky on my part that he failed three rerolls effectively. He did get above average to get to that point, but it like I said, doesn't put him into a bad spot. These spears, I'm out of front arc for those, so I can't actually see him. And then he's in such a position that he's protecting his flank from like my general here and everything too. So um, yeah, it definitely would have killed this unit getting that unit in, but it it was a long shot. Not terribly long, but it wasn't a guarantee by any means. Um, so Jordan puts a good amount of wounds onto this unit, something like 10 wounds between the host shadow beast, the 5 normal attacks, the 10 attacks from the dragon. the undead worm. So this is after my movement here on bottom of 2. So over here, the captain was able to get line of sight, and we went ahead and did that. So charged in the flank, countercharged the front. Now that the bison's no longer over here threatening, I feel confident moving the knights up. The giant moved up a little bit. His club is being annoying, but he's facing straight ahead. And then we're using the infantry as the roadblocks that they were meant to be. So the spear phalanx moves up and faces like this. The general is still facing straight forward here. So this particular movement, what it does for me is a couple things. One, this hero in his position, between the board edge and him, unit can't fit. Between the building and him, this unit can't fit. So this unit only has a charge on the hero. This unit can see the flank of the hero and can charge the hero, but between these units, there's just enough room for him to fit for a declared charge. And that's very important because he can't surge and like get through this gap with the surge, and the angle that he would have to go at with the surge isn't going to get him anything besides the charge on this flank anyway. So the only thing that could get kind of long bomb surged is one of the behemoths sitting here, but it's not in a good position to move over here, get the right angle it needs, and get into anything of value like these knights. That's a good 18, 20 inches away from each other right now. So with this 190 point Pegasus, we accomplished our goal and why we put the higher point tokens over here by abusing our impassable terrains and just kind of forcing it down on him. So last turn he had backed up with these guys just out of charge of the giants here. So the giant did nudge forward a little bit just to get back within 14 inches. To apply the pressure. Over here we see that that soul snare, being exposed. I definitely am shutting that down. Part of the reason, that was another thing that the soul snare was able to shoot into the horde here. So they are up to, actually, it looks like it's 14 wounds. So yeah, between the soul snares, shots, and everything, he also healed everything off the skeletons as we expected. He almost one-shots this unit without getting the horde in there. So I know the way of the sneaky damage that EOD can do. So so we just reposition. We're going to shut the soul snare down for a turn, and we decide to fully commit to this undead worm. Anything you touch in EOD, you want to kill. So commit, overcommit, kill whatever you touch when you target EOD whenever possible. Otherwise, they're just going to heal it back. So we take the bowman hindered into the flank because why not? Again, our shooting's not going to do anything, so we might as well get them in there. And then we countercharge the front. I may have had to pop Indomitable Will this turn. Either way, it's fine. And then the general in the front as well. So I did the bowman in the flank mainly because they could get a wound or two potentially. But then after a reform, I'm going to lock in these guys so that they can't do a withdraw. And that's why I've just thrown a militia mob into them. I don't want to spread my damage out. I don't have a whole lot of hitting power over on this side, especially after the horde took a punch to the mouth. So I need to just take apart one unit at a time when I can. And we do that. So we kill the worm, do the reform as we were wanting here. So it locks this guy in because he can't withdraw. He'd still be within an inch of this unit. And then the general is still facing forward after this, and his flank is being shared up by the horde here from the this guy, the pharaoh. And we did very well over here against the bison. We got really lucky actually because it's a 14-16 defense 5. The captain was hindered coming in. And again, if we played in snare, I probably don't kill this guy. But I rolled exactly what I needed for nerve on him over here. So very, very happy with that particular outcome. So this is what the turn looks like going into top of 3 for Jordan. Ballistas look like they did 3 wounds to the spears. Big whooped. The Soul Snare did take, I believe, 3 wounds as well. So at the very least, it's not shooting. And I'm also forcing him to keep the behemoth here, because the behemoth's the only thing that reliably kills my hero. So Jordan goes ahead and commits some more over here, which is kind of what we were expecting. So this is thing. Yeah, he moves some more. Okay. So let's get in a little closer here. So he does decide he has to go hit this hero. So he goes into that. He ends up crisscrossing his units. He doesn't want his enslaved guardians into the spears. So he charged the guardians into the militia mob and charged the spears with the behemoth. Took the flank over there, charged his spearmen out of the woods into my spearmen, and then the spearmen on the hill charged off of it into the horde of bowmen over here. Those militia mob did 2 wounds. Champions. So yeah, feel pretty good about all those. I got him kind of spreading out his units at this point. So he's not focusing. And I just need bodies in the way so that I can just systematically pick up units that I need to pick up. So he does charge the horde as well with his character, and he kills them. The enslaved guardians killed the militia mob. He does kill the hero after charging the flank. Sebek healed the soul snare. He does not kill the militia mob, which he was hindered, so he needed, 4s to hit, 2s to wound. So, but they do get wavered. Definitely very helpful to force enslaved guardians into a 2-round combat with a 65-point chaff piece. So, and very surprising over here, he doesn't kill the hero on Pegasus either. He in fact wavers him. Only 6 wounds. That was well below the average. He should have 12 hits and then defense 5, so he should have 8 wounds. So, yeah, it's below. I am rallied from the captain here at least, so that rally and inspiring definitely helps. But so yeah, going into bottom of 3 for me, I decide that we're just gonna kind of keep up with the game plan, and that main game plan is the win is over here. The 2-point tokens are the ones to worry about. Neither of us have picked up tokens yet. One, he's EOD. He doesn't want to pick up tokens because he can't surge. And 2, I just haven't ended on him. I want to clean up all these units before I get surged to high heaven. So I decide that the hero was wavered, so he withdrew an inch and then turned to face this way, and both giants charge the front. You got to double down on giants, so got to get all that Slayer going. And then we just countercharge. We stay put over here. I think, and I redeploy the knights over towards the center. So this should get them, target against the enslaved guardians. And if I don't want them, I also have a target on the flank of the spears. Um, this one obviously countercharged. This one I didn't really like so much. Oh, I did charge the flank of the soul snare up here as well with the general from the left side. So our we're hindered because there is an obstacle there, but 21 attacks, hitting on fours, winning on twos. We're hoping that like 8, 9 wounds or so should be enough to. It's not usually enough. It's -15, so it's a long shot. But at the very least, we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it disordered, and then what it does is it stretches this behemoth too thin. Because right now, I did not like my odds going into the front of these enslaved guardians with the bison and the other general, knowing that it's an easy surge flank right there into the bison. However, because I charge this back here, he does not want to leave that alone in his backfield. So I'm forcing him to, I'm giving him a unit, but I'm forcing him to divide up. He just doesn't have enough defense to cover everything that I'm throwing at him. And um, yeah, just trying to stretch him as thin as possible here. So that was the game plan. If I didn't have this flank over here on the Soul Snare, I probably don't double charge into the front here. I probably try to just clear up some of the smaller units, and then use my own units to kind of block off the enslaved guardians until I can get flanks and more of a secure kill. But we don't have that luxury, so I went ahead and double charged. Hope for the best. On the left, the double giants do kill the enslaved guardians. It was actually pretty close. I think I only did like 10 or 11 damage, or probably I think 10 damage, and so I needed a 6. But luckily, I only needed it one time because his inspiring over here was the bison, so I got that. And then everybody turned for a Congo line to look towards the center here. Otherwise, we did get extremely lucky and we killed the other enslaved guardians here. So, yeah, I rolled a 6 on my Slayer for the Bison, which was the biggest thing. So it had 11 attacks, hitting on threes, winning on twos with elites and vicious. And then the general's 7 attacks, hitting on threes, wounding on twos. So the unit had 1 wound already on it. So the general should do like 4 wounds on average. And then the bison getting 11 attacks should be looking at, what is that? So like 6 or 7 wounds. So we'll say 10 wounds total. They had 1 on him, so I need a 6 twice because he does inspire right here, and I got it. It's very lucky on my part to be able to come through with that kill. And then even more lucky, I sidestepped and I got 2 inches, which is perfect. He cannot fit into the flank here. He would have to get this unit completely out of the way, which I don't think he can in order to allow for the angle and the room to get into the flank of the bison. And then the general just turned to face, get a little bit better option here. All the other infantry units were either wavered or grinding and just not doing much of anything. So, and then shooting, I've been shooting at the monolith at this point because why the hell not? Better than shooting at a defense 6. unit. So this was after top of turn 4 for Jordan's turn. And so Jordan withdrew with his snake, his behemoth, turned to face this way, and then between both of his casters, um, got him up to here. I don't even think it was both of his casters. I think he just used one of his casters, and then he wanted to use heal with Sebek on somebody else. So, um, yeah. And then he's going to finish this unit off, maintain the charge here, and maintain that here. He did go into the flank of my general with his character over here. Getting host shadow beast off and everything. Or actually, this was the turn he didn't get host shadow beast off, I think. So, um, yeah, so that kind of jumps forward here, but he kills this unit and he kills my general back here. And then this is after my movement. So a couple things took place here. Let's get some close ups. So I I charged in here with the captain and a giant. So this giant's facing forward. This one's also facing forward. He was able to move in such a way to pick up this token. So I did that. My general on Wing Beast here was sitting here. He's been grounded, but I can see these guys. And if I move forward, just 90-degree pivot, I can get past this unit and hit the flank. So I went ahead and did that while double charging the front, popping the J boots. So again, these enslaved guardians are kind of a key priority. So overcommit, do as much as possible to bring them down, take them out. This is the last unit of them to worry about. And they're sitting on top of the token, but they're not holding the token right now. So, and then the injured Pegasus flew up here, so that way I prevent this behemoth from being able to pivot where he's at to get a surge into the Bison. So this is one of the weaknesses of behemoths or any chariot type base, is that they are going to be very restricted for movement once somebody is in their flank and an inch away. So I'm really restricting him to moving forward, and he has to move forward quite a bit to where after he pivots, he's going to have very limited options. So he's not able to hit the things that are in his flank with this positioning. And then we just maintain over here. We shoot at the monolith. I don't think I did anything to the monolith this turn. Failed to hit everything, which is fine. We did 7 wounds over here, respectable. Just maintain that. But we killed these guys, the enslaved guardians, which is the key thing we were focusing on this particular turn. And positioning like this, so the general did turn back around to face this way. And yeah, with all the guardians gone, one of the behemoths is being controlled right now and is, in my opinion, in a losing battle. I feel pretty good about that. The only thing to really worry about is the other behemoth. His Pharaoh is just going to keep doing whatever he wants to do, and I'm not going to worry about it. So, yeah. Um, so Jordan goes ahead and he does move forward. I was out of his front arc, so he moves forward, gets the surge that he needed into the general. The character was in the flank of the general, so he flew over, making it to where he's not hindered. Um, and then he's moving his monolith in such a way that he's trying to jump on this token next turn. My Bison charged solo, so we got a point there. We're not going to be able to charge his Bison because obviously we didn't set it up against each other. So we got a point. He got a point as well for the bison scenarios. So, but after we killed the soul snare, we're turning around to face like this. So we're in a very good spot with the bison at this point. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Not a whole lot of options on Jordan's side at this point. So, and he does kill my general. He overruns with his pharaoh. He was hoping to be a roadblock for the knights, but he rolled a 6 and he ran all the way past. So when he reformed this guy, he couldn't keep the bison in the front and these guys in the front. So um, I think there was a reform he could have done to keep the knights in the front, and the bison would have just been in the flank. But he chose to reform in this way so that it's front from the spears, a flank, and a flank. So, and that's what we end up doing. So I deny him the token here. So I fly on it with my Pegasus, and the ballistas keep shooting at the monolith. Control the last piece of the puzzle here in this behemoth. We do not have J boots, so it's going to be pretty difficult to kill him in one shot here. And our giant wasn't able to get in there or help, and he was just out of front arc of this guy. So, and this guy got some healing love from Sebek, and he life leeched as well. So into this is bottom of 5 here. I did pick up the 2 point token here with the spears, so I have both 2 point tokens and one pointer. Turn 6, this unit's simply just going to back up and be on that token. But for the meantime, we're trying to, kill spearmen if we can. So combat, we do kill the behemoth over here. I sidestep with the captain, overrun with the giant just to get into better positions. And again, I think this whole game, I feel bad for Jordan because this whole game, I think I hit the nerve roll that I needed, like right on the nerves. And so I'm rolling a lot of like, you need a 4 or 5, and I would roll exactly that. And then, some of the more iffy ones, 6, 7, it's like roll a 7 twice, and I get it. And it's like, yeah, sometimes the game is like that, but um, yeah, I understand. Jordan was definitely frustrated with those nerve rolls. I completely understand when you're at the point of just begging for one of them to fail. Like all it takes sometimes is one break, and then you can kind of come back or have a chance, have some hope. But in this game, it just was not happening for him. So sorry about that, bro. So Jordan's turn was very straightforward at this point. He countercharged in here. He wavers the bowman. He's gotten these guys up to 6 wounds, and then he charged the giant over here, which was only on a few wounds from the bison's initial charge, like 4 wounds or so, maybe 5. So it was kind of a long shot, but he's got host shadow beast and everything. But I am rallied over there, so this is what it looks like after Jordan's turn 6, and this is how I move. So I drop the token here with the peg, pick it up with the bison, and not that I've forgotten, but the bison has Alchemist Curse. So it's like, well, yeah, we'll pick up a token. We'll Alchemist Curse this guy. We've gotten a fair few, like 6 or so wounds on him already from the ballistas, so we'll combo in with that. And the peg charge the flank just because, um, yeah, if there is a turn 7, these bowmen are actually uh, very likely to get wavered. So, or killed. In fact, they were already wavered. Countercharge there, and then the knights charge, the giant countercharge, and the captain, you know, charges the rear. So we're just trying to finish this guy off. And he's run his heroes away at this point just to save some points. So yep, and I end up shooting off the monolith, which definitely helps. Which means this unit was uninspired, so I did get the kill on them. I did not get the kill on this spearman. This is after the game here where wounds were already picked up, but um, I did get the kill on the pharaoh. So again, it was one of those where it's like I think I needed like a 6 twice, and I rolled a 6 both times, and just kind of a nail in the coffin. And there was no turn 7, so that's where the game ended up. So all in all, I have all the tokens except for one that was in this forest over here, but was being ignored by both of us for the whole game. And so, yeah, this is where the game ended. It was a solid victory in my favor. So we got 14 for the win. I believe we got one shy of max for the bonuses for the scenario, so we got 3 there, bringing us up to 17. I think we were just over the edge for attrition to be a +2. So we got 19, and then we got the single point from the Bison objective. So we got a 20-point win, putting us right up there going into the last round. I think I was second, or maybe I was third in battle. I think top 2 was Aaron Chapman, who had won his game, and Devlin Smith. So either Devlin and I think Devlin and I were tied actually going into this game. But obviously, I had played Aaron already, so it was going to be Aaron and Devlin on the top table. So I'll be on table 2 for the last round. And yeah, so this game in general, I felt like played it much better. Although I was not expecting Jordan's surge attempt in that turn 2. Um, it could have been something that definitely changed the game as a whole for benefit for Jordan. Um, so something that I need to be aware of, even though I play EOD a certain way, and usually go for just the low surge number flanks, if or when I even do surge. There are definitely these tactics to go for those long front surges into units that don't have the backup that, like that horde that I had there. It just did not have support if it was going to get triple charged. So, um, yeah, Jordan, I think played a good game, and just a couple things just didn't go his way, and a lot of things, with the nerve rolls went my way. So the end result definitely does not feel like it should have been as bad as it was. I think Jordan's army is extremely strong, and the way he played was very solid all around. So um, but yeah, we're gonna take our win. I feel much better about my play in particular in this game versus the day one. So gonna try and keep that up for the last game of Bison Brawl and see if we can squeak out a win and jump up over the table one guys. But that is all for this game, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everyone.